All right, thank you. If we share and if you can hear us,
Yes, I can.
that would be great. You say hello to Des. Is it Desio?
Yes, it is Delcio, yes.
Desio, Miranda.
No, good evening, everyone.
Hello, good evening, Efe.
Yeah. So I'm going to start over again, and I'm going to start based on what is needed as a key aspect of the interview. One is a strength-based interview. If you could repeat what you said, what is your strength in? What is your strength? Or in terms of if you have carried out any initiative before in data governance?
The strengths that I bring to the table are that I'm able to run inventories from foundation level when working at a company, understanding how the company carries themselves, where data governance is related, understanding where areas of improvements can be made. Once I have carried out my audits, I then am able to make recommendations where necessary. So, for instance, if there isn't a formal data governance framework in place, or if there isn't a governance council in place, be it data literacy pack, ensuring that employees are having the pack from the onboarding stage, be it a data owner or data stewardship documentation, ensuring a clear responsibilities of roles and accountability as well. Should any of the data present or any of the CDs or domains have any issues with, so we have people accountable that we can go to, or the go-to people. Data quality issue management in place as well. Those are some of the key strengths that I'm able to bring to the table and bring it to a satisfactory level. And yes, that's what I have so far. That's what I have so far.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. Ife, the hand is up.
Right. So if I was answering that question, I will personalize it as much as possible.
Okay.
It's talking about the strength now. And let me see. I don't know a copy of you. I don't know if you have do I have a copy of your CV? So I would, as much as possible, personalize the initiative. Say, for example, if I was the one answering, talking about my strengths, I would say when I was working, I worked for so companies. If I'm talking about the past organization, I worked for so company, and whilst I was there, the initiatives I carried out. So this is where you have concrete examples. Have
Okay.
you got concrete examples to hand? The initiatives I carried out when I was in say for example, I was in XYZ company. One of the initiatives that I carried out was to create some sort of data catalog. So we're talking about strength now. And based on what I created, the company was blah, blah, blah. Everybody was able to use it. And so we're talking about how you are going to create, how you got your strength. I like the fact that you said the strength you have, but you haven't told me that even though you got that strength, where did you actually use that strength?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of example did you actually use that strength in?
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I was to, this is what I spoke to Pastor, because I haven't had the course, this is mainly
No, and don't worry about that. That's what we're here.
yeah. So if I was to, what if I was to say I have so let's say at my previous company, Legal and General,
Yes.
we had no formal data governance framework in place.
Okay. Yeah.
And we needed to establish a comprehensive data governance framework.
Okay.
I developed policies, retention, standards, what to do's and what not to do's.
Okay.
I also ensured that an aspect of security protection was in place whilst engaging stakeholders, for adoption of the governance framework that I'm trying to implement.
Well, I'm gonna stop you there, folks.
Okay. So for me, okay, sorry. Yeah, go on. For me, that was much better now because you've actually made it look like you were doing it somewhere in an organization.
Okay.
But you have a concept of the acronym called STAR, STAI.
Yes.
Do you know what it stands for?
Yes.
What does it stand for?
Situation, task, action, result.
Okay. So if you use that approach, it will help you. First of all, you need to talk about the situation. You describe the context, or the background of the situation you face when you're employed. Is that okay?
Yes.
And put it in perspective, just like what if you're saying. Okay? And then what was your task when you look at the situation? You have to explain the task thoroughly, or the challenges you needed to accomplish. Short statement. Okay? And we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it together. So there's not be any problem. If we give you an example, or probably I'll give you an example. And this video is for you to even watch overnight self, and you talk about it. Okay?
Okay.
And then you have to carry out, what action do you carry out? You have to detail the specific actions you took to, address the task, to solve, the problem, especially when you say CRM platform, critical elements that you may deal with. Then also, what was the result of the action? You share the outcomes, the result of your actions, laying emphasis on positive impacts and what you have achieved. That is a very simple thing. When they ask you issue of strength, you just start. So simple. If you have an example of initiative that you can give. Are you still there?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I'm here. So I was listening to what you were saying.
Yeah, can you?
So like what I liked what he was saying. So for example, an initiative that I carried out when I worked with Ife's.com company some 2-3 years ago. As soon as I got there, I noticed that they were in a green field. Even though I was employed to work in a brownfield environment, I noticed that they were in a green field
Your question, do you understand the different field? Do you understand the different field?
Are you you're asking him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you understand the two fields?
Green field and
Do you know the
brown
difference
field.
between green field and brown field?
No, sorry, no.
Okay.
No.
So the green field is when there is no data governance in place. You are going to start it. The brown field is already in place, employing you to build capacity to improve it.
Okay.
Please take note of that, because when you first of all started, you're supposed to mention the field you are employed to do in your previous job or in a current job. Write down Ife.
Okay. Greenfield and
Oh,
brownfield.
Ife speaking, Ife speaking. Ife?
So yes, so when I got employed, I was told I was going to be working in a brownfield environment, but to my greatest surprise, I found that it was more a greenfield. There was nothing whatsoever in place when it came to data governance, policies or procedures. So the first thing I did was to contact the various stakeholders within the company, and the stakeholders that were going to be involved were in the IT department, the human resources department, the training departments, because these were the key stakeholders I felt will be very crucial in us putting a data governance framework in place. So as soon as I did that, I also told the organization that I would love very much to train at least 2 or 3 stewards that will be able to implement the data governance framework going forward once it's all in place. So when I contacted the IT department, who were one of the key stakeholders, I was able to get hold of, they had no database whatsoever. Everything was in place. Everything was shambolic. In fact, the so-called database which they had, there was a lot of duplications, a lot of errors, a lot of not properly formatted and all that. So one of the things I did was to create a database, first of all, with all the information in place. My database contained the names, the surnames, addresses, because I found that even people who had left the company some 5 years ago were still showing up on the company. And the next set of stakeholders I contacted were the human resources department, where I said that I would love to have a look at all the persons on their system. Again, it was shambolic. There was nothing in place. So it was more a case of, we don't know. Why do you still have this? I don't know why we still have it. Why is it not taken out? I don't know why we've not taken it out. So I created a master database, which I said all the key stakeholders should buy into, and they were all happy. I did this by organizing a short workshop, and I invited all of them to the workshop and then explained to them that this is what we intended to carry out. So created the master database, got all the names of everyone within the company who had left and all that, decided to cleanse the database. I removed all the duplications. I used the Power BI as one of my tools to do this. Cleanse the system, removed all duplications, reformatted the whole thing, and then I sent it out to the various stakeholders to have a look at. And as soon as they were all satisfied, we went to work straight away on the system. So, but I don't know. Sorry, is that Mr. Delos?
Dells.
Yeah. So you can see that I have involved the various stakeholders. The various stakeholders are IT, human resources, training departments. I have involved all of them. I have gotten a workshop done together. I have created a master database. So this is all me now, because it's very important that you're showing yourself, you're showing what you can do in that company. We know that, yes, it might be easy for everybody to do, but what they want to see is you yourself, what you can do.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I totally understand that, and it does make sense. I think my challenge is that little extra of history, that piece of history, context
yes.
of every single little piece.
You need to move up, so you need to go up because I heard and speak louder.
Okay,
Thank you. Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, Efe, as I was saying,
Yes.
my challenge is adding as much context as possible, especially not having any experience on it whatsoever.
Don't worry, you have experience from here today.
Okay.
Okay, and I want it to be both. When you speak like a professional after living here. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Are you going to appear physically?
So the very first one is Teams, because they first want me to see if I can fit into the culture. It's like
Okay.
a meet and greet.
Okay.
And then from then on, they will decide if I should go for the first interview.
Now, normally,
Mhm.
most of all this interview takes three phases. Two
Yeah,
phases and three phases. So it's not new.
yeah. With the BBC, they've got 4 phases.
Okay. So that's how it is, because you know where you're coming in. So if they speak with you,
Mm.
in first 2-3 minutes cannot articulate who you really are, to be quite honest, there's no point.
Mm.
That's why I want you to take it seriously, this question.
Yeah.
And the
So,
first, if
Okay.
you do want to speak.
no, I was going to say, so the first phase likely to tell me about yourself is going to
That is
be
the strength.
it's going to be your first phase.
Yeah, that's
So
the
when
strength
they
phase.
tell me about yourself, you're meant to go through your CV within 2 to 3 minutes, and then talk about your strength. So along the line, you have picked up various skills. You picked up various strengths, such as what are the strengths
So
now?
we're gonna reach
Building
gonna
the
reach that level.
capabilities.
Gonna reach that
Okay,
level much later. Yeah.
okay.
So like what if it's talk about now that strength? If they ask you, can you tell me who you are? They already know your name, but you need to say it. And then can you tell me what have you done? Your strength. If he has given you one now, okay, I want you to talk like professional. Don't talk like someone who is just starting or whatever. Talk like a professional. Okay, and there's a way we're gonna make sure you get those things right too. Okay, so you can say in my previous role, it was a brown field or it was a green field. Okay, but they said brown field. However, uh, I led data governance initiatives. What does that mean? Data quality initiatives. Okay, that means the quality of the data. Do you understand? There could be error. Quality of data, focus on what? Improving data quality in CRM platform. I'm a customer relation management platform. Okay. I thoroughly, analyze the data and what happened. As for your role, you included other stakeholders to identify the root cause of problems. And then what did you do after that? As you work closely with all stakeholders, you establish the data quality policies, rules and regulations, procedures, and also have a data validation, or you did cleansing as well, or do duplication, and then you do cleansing, or you did data check and validation as well, and monitoring, and then what happened? You automated your system after security. And what is the effect? What does it resulted to? It resulted to a reduction of errors about 80%, and then improve customer insight or experience, and also help in strategic decision making. Simple. Very simple.
Yes, it's simple when you've got
No
a lot.
worry. That one will send you this video. This video will send it to you. So and then again, whatever you put down, I will tell you when after I finish the recording what you will do. Okay?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes, it is
Good.
okay.
Now let's move straight along. So what you just need to know about this, you need to focus on two things. What you want to focus on, look at the chat box. You need to focus on identify your strength, what you do well and enjoy doing. You have to identify yourself properly, what you do well, which is the initiative, okay?
Okay.
And make sure you are passionate when you're talking about your strength, your strength-based approach.
Okay.
Very, very passionate. You need to be more passionate in doing it. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. If your hands up.
Yeah. So I was going to do like a short intro.
Okay.
Okay. So I would go this way. Let's assume it's one person who is interviewing you or two people. It's very important that if it's one person, make sure you take note of their name. And if you didn't get their names the first time, I'm talking about the first name. If you didn't get the first name the first time, you ask them, hey, then please can you repeat what you I think catch your name. What's your name? Because you're going to appear very friendly and chatty to them. So then you could go like this and say, thank you very much for having me. My name is, I'm going to use myself. My name is Caroline Efe, and I'm a specialist in data management with a strong background in data governance and stakeholder engagement. Over the past decade, I have honed my skills in leading data strategies, improving data quality, and ensuring compliance with regulatory frameworks like GDPR. In my current role at Legal and General Investments, I have developed and implemented comprehensive data governance framework, managed metadata catalogs, and driven adherence to data protection policies. Most notably, I migrated, because that's one of your strengths, I migrated over 20,000 clients to a new fund allocation platform, improving user experience and increasing referral sales by 15%. Previously at Tesco Group Finance, I contributed to the adoption of data governance framework and led initiatives that improved email marketing conversion rates by 22%. I also spearheaded a robotics project that reduced data quality wastage by 31%. So I'm just picking up the strengths you have in your CV. Then I thrived in bridging the gap between business and technical teams, leveraging tools like Power BI, Tableau, and Confluence to drive insights. My expertise or skills span process improvement, risk management, and strategic leadership. I hold the Bachelor of Science degree in Management and a Business Analysis Foundation course, which has further helped to solidify my analytical approach to doing things. In every role, I focus on delivering measurable improvements while fostering collaboration across teams, across various stakeholders. I'm very excited to bring dedication and experience to your organization and contribute to its continued success. So this is just this is an intro, but automatically I have summarized your CV to give that intro. So in summarizing the CV, I have brought out your strengths because you have said this is what you have done. This is how you've improved this and that by 15%, 20%, and all that. So that's just that's what they want to know when you do the intro at the beginning. Thank you. So then you can add any title and say, thank you once again for having me.
Okay. So the first question matters a lot. If you cannot articulate it within 3 minutes or 4, they'll just be playing with you. The next day will tell you, I'm speaking from experience. From what I've been in this, so I know what I'm talking about. So we'll make sure you are grounded on that. And once you can finish that, there's no way they're gonna go. I'm gonna squeeze you because we haven't started yet. So then they gave you structure of the interview. Thank you, Efe. They gave you structure of the interview. Okay?
Yes.
And it's gonna be based on what? Number one, it's gonna be based on
so
hold on. It's gonna be based on skill. It's gonna be based on skills. So your question will be, we align with the BBC values and role-specific skills. Those are the role-specific views. Then when they are asking you question on your question on the value of BBC, you need to know what are the values of ABC. Okay, and then your role specific skills. Those are the questions, but I'm coming, we're going to deal with that. And also, they're going to deal with no need, they are telling you no need to over prepare. That's what they're telling you. No need to over prepare. Are you sure of that? No need to over prepare.
No, you need to prepare.
And the interview emphasizes natural and honest response. They are telling you no need to over prepare. Okay, now, of course, they will tell you that. So, now let's talk about, again, what you could put together in terms of your strength, in terms of BBC value, in terms of this thing. First of all, you're going to reflect on your strength, which we have been talking about. You need to articulate your strength. How will you do that? You need to consider personal insight. Do you understand the word insight? Do you know the meaning of insight?
Not quite, but please do clarify.
Personal is a personal insight. You see, personal understanding. The word insight, misunderstanding. And that's what we'll be dealing with. What if they have been saying? What do you understand of the role you're coming in? That's what they're telling you. So we have done that, but we're still going to make sure you get that clear. Okay? When you hear the personal insight, once you look at the chat box, I'm putting something right there.
Yes.
Okay? So these are the two things you're going to look at for your personal insight. What do people often compliment or rely on you for? Okay? And also activities or tasks you feel energized and accomplished doing. So the question comes that way. So by the time, if you listen to what FA has said, by the time you finish that, they may not have any other question.
Okay.
If you don't have anything at all, note tonight, note any initiative you have done. So they want you to bring a star. They want you to be, you have to talk a professional. Anyway, I was employed. They told me it was a brown field, but on getting there, I discovered, it was even a green field. What can I do? I'm there to work. So what I discovered, I have to carry out in several initiatives. One of it is data quality, or one of it is, CRM platform, which, trying to, identify some root causes of different, bring it out. And then, how do you maintain it over time, sustainability? And also, what was the result? Those things are very, very important. You have us, okay, someone can rely on you based on that. That means you can, because the carry out that initiative during migration, like as I said, I was given the task again to have scalability. I mean, migrating from our database to cloud. And what did you do? You focus on developing the policies and procedures, and this is robust enough to accommodate the scalability in migration because of the complexity of data that you're handling. And you don't talk too much, you talk professionally. Do you understand what I mean? They say, wow, okay. How did you do that? You have a software. You have Tableau, have this. So I don't know, by the way, I don't know the one you're using. Know why you put them for, as you are asking them, and then some of them talking to you, they don't even know. So you just say, anyway, I can adapt to any situation. It's like it has reached a level now, we don't know who's interviewing who. Do you understand?
Yes.
So get that clear. If it says something. So when what you reflecting on your strength, after reflecting on your strength, what did you achieve? What did you achieve? So make sure you consider what you achieved during the process. Okay. The achievements, what did you do? Milestone you are most proud of, and the effort you took to achieve or whatever you have carried out in your initiative. And your manager even decided to recommend you for promotion, or we are promoted. Yeah, okay. All right. So activities you dislike, and why to understand yourself better. What are the activities? It's just like some impediments you meet during your initiative. One of it is, okay, if your hand is up.
Yes, I would just, whilst listening to what you were saying, I was also looking at what, because I just looked at what the BBC was saying about your strengths. He said, what do your friends and family know you for? Because they want you to be, whilst they're talking about data governance, they also want you to be as honest as possible. So I would like to ask, what do your friends and family know you for? What do they know you for? Do they know you for being someone who helps a lot? Do they know you for someone as, okay, say, for example, myself, a lot of my friends and family know that I like traveling. And in traveling, I'm the organizer of the group. So in organizing the group, I would be the one to make sure everyone's ticket is, I will be the one to buy the tickets online, making sure everybody's dietary requirements is met. And if we have children, what will the children enjoy doing? Are they going to enjoy playing games, or is it going to be more a case of everybody make sure you have iPads with you so that the children will have something to play with whilst they're there? And what activities would I plan in the day? I would plan a lot of games, a lot of activities that will not only keep the children entertained, will also keep the adults entertained. So I will look at games which both adults and children can play together. And based on that, it's going to be a fun holiday, because sometimes I've seen where adults go on holidays with children and the children are bored, the adults are bored, everyone is bored, no one knows what to do. So I would like to ask you now, what do friends and family know you for? I'm asking you the question now.
Mr. Fixer.
Mr. Fix It.
Mr.
Brilliant. Okay. So when you say you're Mr. Fix It, how are you someone that I can call and say, oh, I have got my kitchen tap is suddenly leaking, or my toilet is broken,
Bob the Builder.
or my toilet is broken, or my house needs painting. So, Mr. Fix It, can you come and fix it for me? Are those the kind of things that you're known for?
It's more of a solutions maker. Anything
Okay.
that gets thrown, I'm able to think of on 2 feet quickly and come up with.
Okay, you need to come out with boldness when you're speaking. Okay?
Okay.
You need to say, yeah, they call me, sorry to say, you'll be very amazed at the name they call me. You see the way you smile. Sorry to
Yeah.
say that if I tell you, you will laugh. What is that? You said they call me Mr. Fisa. Even my friends. Well, no, I'm not about the builder, but actually I'm actually a solution provider. That's what I go for challenges, because I like a place that I have to be challenged in order to grow.
Absolutely.
This is how you talk. First laugh and say, if I tell you, you'll be very amazed. They call me Mr. Fisa. And so I also say Bob the Builder, but I'm not Bob the Builder. Anyway, the only thing is that because they have come, you see where I now become serious again after laughing. So I have, because they actually know me, that I like facing challenges, and because a solution provider, I believe we have to create value by facing things that are not right, facing the challenges squarely, using the tools available, management tools available to face situation. And in fact,
Okay.
actually, solution provider could create value. It is a value that attracts the required investment. That's it. Simple. You're talking like a professional. Don't say they call me the vision. No. You are my chef. I want you to be strong. You know what to say, to be quite honest. I know you. I don't talk too much. You know what to say.
Okay, so after saying that they call me Bob, they call me Mr. Fixer. I can fix anything that is broken. I fix it. So all my friends and family, they know that once I'm there, I'm gonna fix their thing. Then they said the second bullet point is, what activities would you plan in an ideal day? So the reason they have given you these questions is to know more about you on a personal level. So in an ideal day, what activities would you plan? Of course, you're not going to be saying an ideal day, I'll go to the pub and get wasted in the pub. That's not you.
No.
Of course, nobody wants anybody that will get wasted in the pub, or that would say in an ideal day, I sleep 6 hours a day and then I'm waking up on the 7th hour to start becoming Mr. Bob the Fixer. What activities would you plan in an ideal day? Hello, sir.
Oh, sorry. In terms of my own personal life.
Yes, it could be personal life, or it could even be in a work environment. So it could be that they're trying to catch you out here. If so, in an ideal day, I would say in an ideal day, because so I'm assuming you're currently working. You have told them you're currently working, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Yes.
so in an ideal day, I will get to the office. Once I get to the office, one of the first things I will do is to go through my calendar, look at my diary, what meetings I have got planned for the day, and then I would look at how I need to, what is most pressing, how do you say it now? What is most important? What I'll do is grade them into very important. I look at all my activities, look at my emails, I'll grade them into very important, less important, and what can wait until the end of the day.
Priorities.
Based on my priority list, and based on that, I start going through it. And if it's a day of where there's so many meetings, because you make us laugh, you kind of laugh and say, sometimes it can be quite funny. I just have meetings upon meetings upon meetings. It doesn't allow me to do what I want to do, but sometimes I end up having to take that work home with me. So they know straight away that you're somebody that they can rely on. If you need something doing,
That's
you will
correct,
do it at
because
the
you
end of
want
the
to
day.
face something
Yes.
above the Mr. Fixer.
So at the end of the day, I would go home with a bit of overtime. Not very ideal for family life, but what do you do, especially when you want to make sure things are done properly? So my typical day would involve getting to the office, going through my emails, checking which emails are priority. And if it's a day of meetings, I'll go for my meetings. So as soon as I'm done with my meetings, then I'll start going through my list. The very important ones I get done immediately, because you wouldn't believe it. Everybody wants something done like yesterday. So you're making a joke, but at the same time you're telling them that you are Mr. Fix It. You're ready to do everything. So everybody wants everything done like yesterday. So I'll go through that priority list, get the very important things sorted, and leave the ones not so important. If it's something that can be done the next day, if it's something that is needed in maybe 2 weeks' time, that will probably not be on my priority list. But if it's something that is needed in the next 1 hour or by the end of the day, that will be my most pressing thing to do. So what you would do is look for activities that you would do in a day in the life of is it data governance? What's your job description? Is it data governance manager?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes.
Okay, so what you do is look for activities that you would do as a data governance manager on a typical day-to-day basis.
When you come to
Yes,
the office, what you do, and then so they are
so
trying
but
to tell you.
yes. So but if it's not if you decide, say then, but if it's on a weekend, because I'm Mr. Fixer, I've got my diary filled up. My facts, my friends they don't even give me breathing space, because they know that once I'm there, it's going to be done. So I'll probably have a list long from here to who God knows where, trying to make sure I fit in all these things. So I know
I think
sometimes it can be quite sad, because it presses on my family life, but sometimes, I'm someone who who you can rely on. So I don't like disappointing people. So in that way, I would say it's my weakness, not disappointing people, and as well as my strengths. So I'm someone who is open to doing things for people, but at the same time, it could be a weakness in the fact that it encroaches into my family life. You have told them you have a weakness, but at the same time, your weakness is your strength. Then the next,
also you can still find a way to balance that with respect to family as well, so that they will know that you care for your family as well.
Then what do you truly enjoy doing, and what are you like at your best? So what I will say is make sure you have activities which you would plan in an ideal day in an office environment, and then have activities which you will plan on an ideal day on a personal level. That's when during the weekends or during holidays. And the next one, it says, what do you truly enjoy doing, and what are you like at your best? I truly enjoy fixing things. I truly enjoy helping people. And sometimes even I volunteer at the, what do you call these places? The Zik, home salvation. What do you call this voluntary, this charity places?
It can be
Salvation Army.
Salvation Army or any
Salvation.
charity.
Okay. Are you Muslim or Christian, if you don't mind me asking?
Christian.
Okay, so it could be that you sometimes I also volunteer at the Salvation Army. As it's getting to Christmas, there are lots of homeless people out there who need help with one thing or the other. So we have in where I worship, we have this food bank store, which which I have been volunteering in at the weekends recently, because there's so many homeless people out there who want clothes and the rest. So what I do is I help to sort out. We have people bringing in all sorts of stuff. We have people bringing in food and the rest. So I'm helping out currently to sort out the place, trying to make sure, because I'm Mr. Fix It, when people bring in these things, they just throw in. So what I'm trying to do is making sure I'm sorting out the food, sorting out the clothes, making sure everything is in place already. It tells them that you're a kind individual at heart. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yes, I am.
I'm gonna send you the link of this, so you must
Okay.
understand.
Then
So
what achievements are you most proud of, and how did you get there? So one of the achievements you're most proud of now, if I'm looking at your CV, let me go back to your CV now. You said you were able to sort out over 20,000. You were able to migrate over 20,000. Where's that thing again? You were able to migrate, where is it? I was able to migrate 20,000 clients to a new fund allocation platform, improving their user experience. That's one of my greatest achievements, 20,000 clients. And for the fact that I had a lot of, when I graduated, I had a lot of difficulty graduating because I come from a background where I was a breadwinner. I also had to do this. I also had to do that. So I would say one of my greatest achievements is when I graduated, and then when I was working for a social company and had to migrate about 20,000 people to blah, blah, blah. You're just looking for random examples. Just look for things that, you can put in there. And then the other one, what activities do you not enjoy? So over to you, Nasa.
and why?
What activities do you not enjoy?
Professionally or personally?
Both. Think outside. So now what you're going to be doing is looking at professionally and looking at in your not professional life. I'm sure there are things you do not enjoy. Sometimes when you're in the front of the interview panel, then it looks as if it's a daunting task, but it's actually not. What?
Yeah, I've seen anti-effort, the way you've articulated it and the way you've dived into, you've given a lot of context is what I'm trying to.
Yeah. For example, if it's a professional, you like working as a team, but if a team is not pulling their weight, I must confess to you that I really don't like it, and that is the reason.
Absolutely.
You understand? Because you are Mr. Fisher, you have everything in with you already. Okay, so but to understand yourself better, that's what it means. Because as I've said earlier, you already have the answer. I've spoken to them a long time. So I've said earlier, one of the things professionally, where we are in a team, we believe that the team work together to achieve a goal, and the team has to pull their weight. But if they're not pulling their weight, I don't really, honestly speaking, I don't really like it. But I have to do as the duty demands. You have to continue. That's one. That is a team player. That's who you are. It's your strength, but also the thing I say you like pushing people to make sure things done well. It could be your weakness. Okay. Then another thing in a personal life is that honesty. We just say when people are not honest and doesn't have integrity, it affects me because I believe that when you are honest, you speak the truth and also walk in the truth. That's integrity. And that's where people put their trust on and they become credible. Don't talk too much. All this is how with you. You see, they want to know whether you have something you can relate, you can articulate, you can speak. It's not difficult.
Yeah. So, and in
So,
addition to, oh, sorry, should I speak?
oh yeah,
Sorry.
do because we
Okay.
have a lot to cover.
Okay. So, in addition to what he has just said, is you could say that lack of collaboration is one of the activities I don't enjoy because I enjoy working with people, I enjoy working with stakeholders, various stakeholders, but there's some roles that I have to work in isolation or with minimal interaction with other teams. Those kind of roles I don't really enjoy. I like working with people. It's not that, to be honest, a lot of us don't like working with other people, but we just say that we love working with people. So just to make it look like you're a great team player, if you know what I mean. So then you can also say that I don't like repetitive tasks, mundane tasks. My mind is I'm someone who's got a very inquisitive mind, and based on that, I like new things all the time. I like challenging things, like challenging environment.
Yeah,
So anything that is
where I
mundane,
can learn.
yes. So
And
anything that
adapt.
is always mundane that I have to keep doing it repetitively, I don't enjoy doing that. So I like things where I can learn, where I'm able to get. So anything that is non-challenging, count me out. I'm a problem solver. Um, I like bringing new innovations. I like bringing in new initiatives. I can remember the other day I went to Africa. I'm assuming you're from Africa. I went to Africa and I went to this school, and I found that I found that one of the things that were lacking in that school was they didn't even have a single laptop in that school. So I came back to the UK. I went around and I was asking about where I could get secondhand laptops. I was asking friends if they got secondhand laptops, which I could send out to these children in Africa. And I got over 10 laptops to send to them. So those are the kind of things I like doing. I like where I could be a problem solver for people. So it doesn't matter if it's in my personal life or if it's in my public life. I'm a problem solver.
Okay.
Not being able to solve problems is one of my dislikes.
That's you see how they are coming like rattle of gun. You see, there are all these things, and you relating it, you know these things, but please articulate it.
So, sorry. So that's bullet point. What activities do you not enjoy, and why do you think that is? So you have now said you're a problem solver. So you not being able to solve problems, which is what we're talking about, is one of the things you do not enjoy. So you can see that you've actually tied in that bullet point and the next bullet points together.
Several times you tied it on. Is that okay? That should stick. That should stick, isn't it?
Yes.
Because definitely going to ask you that question. Trust me. So, and if you cannot articulate it, they don't need to go to the next round. So one of the questions they will ask you is about whether you familiarize yourself with BBC values. Okay. One of them is audience. Okay, which of the think of a time you adapted to change and the results. So you need to talk about that very well. Okay, and also talk about creativity. Creativity, you have to recall instances where creative thinking led to effective solutions. And what do you think that will be? Because this question is about, it's even concerning what we have talked about. You are a problem solver.
Yes, yes.
So creativity, you have to think about, of a time. I mean, instances where I recall, if you said something the other not too long, I recall that instance when You should think about that. What have you done to help?
I recall having conflicting priorities with stakeholders, whereby some of the requirements, which requirements needed to be prioritized, and I further followed it up with the various stakeholders by holding on workshops, one-on-one meetings, understanding the exact concerns and objectives, and after going through those, we've managed to achieve a level of understanding and the value in which that needed to be brought, and how the various
You don't need to talk much on that.
no
They are
much.
trying to tell you recall instance where
Okay.
creative thinking led to effective solutions. Creative thinking led to effective solution. I recall that when I was employed, it was difficult to identify the data owners. And anyone I approach, they want to run away. Why? Because the question is that, was it in it for me?
Yes.
So what did you do to mitigate against that? That effective thinking led you to you employ a tactics of having a workshop or training or what you're inviting to a conference, and they buy into your program. And then that led to more executive decision making. That's it.
Yes. Pastor Sylvester, I'm not gonna lie. I do feel that obviously I'm a little bit. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm a little bit out of my depth on this one. I do feel, because this was something that I wanted to do it based on some of the research that I did on YouTube and etc. And but this is what I want to do. But obviously,
You can still do it.
But I feel that having the training possibly, obviously, do I have the courage to go and get things together? I do, but
Yes,
it's the articulation, it's the case, it's the live case scenarios.
That one, if you listen,
Okay.
if you listen.
Okay, let me say something on that creative one. Maybe you might need to look at maybe more than one example. So I could say a specific example of creative thinking was during my time at Tesco Group Finance. Remember, you worked at Tesco Group Finance. So one of the things you need to do is making sure that your CV is all in your head. So everything that is in your CV needs to be in your head.
Okay.
Of course, you are going to be looking at, of course, you are allowed to have your CV in front of you. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're allowed to have a copy of CV in front of you so you can refer to it. But at the same time, it's something that it's not going to be, say, when someone is saying, oh, but you say you worked at Tesco Group. Can you tell us when you had the creative thinking moment at Tesco Group, and then you're looking at them in a blank manner and saying, where Tesco Group, where is Tesco Group coming from? But that's on your CV. So I could say a specific example of creative thinking was during my time at Tesco when we faced significant delays and inefficiency in processing investors' change requests. So instead of sticking to manual workflows, what I did was lead an initiative of robotics process automation project. I worked with various stakeholders to redesign the process and integrated an automated system because we had a manual system before. And this helped us to reduce wastage by 31%, significantly improving our inefficiencies and inaccuracy.
Yes.
And even at Legal and General, I developed innovative training video portals to address onboarding challenges. I don't know if you know what we mean by onboarding challenges. So before I joined Legal and General, most of their onboarding of newcomers, I don't know if you're familiar with a lot of new inductions now for people.
Yes.
This onboarding system. So before, it was a manual system they had. But as soon as I got there, I developed this new innovative training video portals to encourage to address the onboarding challenges. By introducing these portals, I reduced training time by 2 weeks because it was a matter of a new joiner starting the company. As soon as the new joiner starts, HR sends them the induction form, sends a link to them in which they fill out their induction forms, and then they'll directed to a place where they can watch all the videos about the company security, cyber security process, and what is expected, and making sure that their laptops are not used for viewing other things or like pornography and all that. So they watch all this to make sure that they are familiar with the system. And then as soon as they've done that, HR sends them their employee number, sends them. There's all automated system compared to what they had before.
Yes.
And with that, and this was all because I have, based on the training I've had. So, and with these experiences, my creative thinking was applied to process design, data visualization, stakeholder engagement. So the stakeholder engagement is you're engaging the new people. And with that one, they didn't feel like they were outside they were in floating in water, or they were floating in water and something like that, because in previous organizations, I found that a lot of new people are floundering. They don't know where to go. They don't know who to speak to. But with this new automated process, everything went smoothly. So that's all based on you.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Does it make sense?
No, it does. It does.
Okay.
It does
You
make
can
sense.
also say, to be quite honest, I'm going to give an example. I can recall that when I was employed in my previous job, I outlined specific duties for data governance. You outline. For example, you specify rule clarity documentation. So you define rules, you define responsibility for data owners, stewards, and custodians within the company, ensuring what? Accountability for critical data assets, because the data assets are very critical, okay? So, and that's what they value. So they're very valuable. And they also, you carry out cross-functional collaboration as well. Whatever you're saying, they already know that you are a team player. Cross-functional collaboration by establishing data governance committee to ensure continuous alignment on responsibilities and objectives. So of course I made some challenges, and I prefer solution to that. One of the challenges is ambiguity in role definitions. What I did was just to develop a detailed role description using responsible accountability consulted in form, which is called RACI. So metrics to clarify accountabilities. And also you made a challenge of difficulty in getting stakeholder buy-in for new responsibility, which I mentioned the other time as well. So what did you do? You lay emphasis on the operational benefits that comes with it, and clarify rules during stakeholder discussion. Okay, what was the result? First of all, it reduced role confusion by 40%, increasing what operational efficiency. Of course, when things are confusion is reduced, it can increase efficiency of work, of course, and also are able to achieve faster issue resolution times by designating clear points of contact for data-related concerns. Does it make sense?
It does.
So we're going to send you this link and you're going to get them, okay? You don't need to know too much, just know little, because they won't interview you more than 40 minutes, supposed to be 45 minutes, in fact, 30 minutes.
30 minutes, yeah.
Yes. So,
Is that for the first stage?
First stage.
Yes, it is for the first stage.
Don't worry, for your first stage, trust me, I don't think you will do more than once you've been able to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about yourself, your strengths, what's motivated you, initiatives. Yeah, I think once they've got the first impression they will get of you will be within the first 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then it will let them know if they're going to call you back for the second stage interview. But I have also done interviews before where they have told me it's going to be a 3-stage interview, and in the first stage I was taken for that job.
Oh wow.
So I didn't go for the next stage again. In fact, I was actually confused, and I was asking them that when is the next stage, and they said no, we're not doing another stage, because I heard people had gone for the interview and they had told them it was going to be 3 stages. So I got a little bit confused because they took me on the first stage.
Yeah, just like my last interview, it's supposed to be 3 phases, but he said after I had spoken with them, after 13 minutes, they were giving me induction inside. So this is how it is. I mean, well, it's just a fortune, sorry to say it, it's just a fortune you never came from training. Well, we just...
I want to come. I want to come. But I guess it's what I said to Pastor. I was being curious of drafting the CV. I was looking at our videos on YouTube, and this is the route I want to take. I am not deviating or anything. Have I done robotics? I have actually done that. I'm legal in general. I've also I've brought in new tools into the company as well. I've done those things, but it's using the lingo of data governance, be able to articulate from A to Z is just the lingo. It's what's
not, but the thing is, if you're engaging people, if whatever you're saying is interesting and you're not necessarily using the right lingo, they will still find it interesting. What I want to know is how interesting a person are you? So I'm talking with, if I meet you somewhere now, let's say I meet you in the pub, or I meet you in the store, I meet you in the church, or I meet you somewhere, and I say, how are you? And you say, oh, I'm fine, this, that. And then before you know it, you start asking me about myself and asking. It means we are flowing. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you're not necessarily telling me using the right lingo, but what it is you're engaging me because you are speaking with me. You're asking me questions, I'm answering them. I'm asking you questions, you're answering them. So both of us are flowing together. But if I meet you in, say, for example, in Tesco, and I say, oh, hello, how are you? And then you say, oh, I'm fine. And then you go quiet. There's no engagement whatsoever. After some time, you say, all right, see you some other time. Maybe we'll meet again. And that will be it. Have you met people like the other day I was telling a pastor, we went to the filling station and he was trying to fill the car. And he was saying, and then the next thing, he was asking the man in front of him, oh, that's a very beautiful car you have. And the man said, oh, thank you. Then he said, what's the engine size of the car? And the guy said 3 liters. The next thing he was asking, he was just going on. And I was watching both of them, even though we're running late. Do you know the person finished buying his petrol, still stood there, and he was still chatting? That is engagement. But I will go to the filling station. Someone is in front, and I will just be muttering under my breath, oh, please, can you fill your car and leave that place so I can fill my car? And that will be it. And then even if the person is saying, so, oh, it's a beautiful day today. Don't you think? Oh, I don't know what the weather has been like this past few days. And I'm mumbling and say, yeah, I know. Okay, carry your car and leave that place. I need to buy my petrol. The person, there's going to be no engagement whatsoever. Yeah. So I believe that if I meet you and you can talk with me and you can flow with me, it's the same thing you can do in interviews. Sometimes in the interview, you can I have turned the interview around before where I didn't have a clue what the person was saying. And I was asking, and the person was saying that, let's say we're talking about Power BI. And I said, oh, well, why are you going down the route of using Power BI? Nowadays, Excel is the most productive way of doing visualization. And the person said, oh, really? Do you think so? Suddenly, the interview turned. The person was now telling me all the challenges they face with using Power BI and this, that. I just sat down there and was listening to them. When they say something, I will now ask the question. After they finish, they say, "What do you think? Do you think you can come and work for us?" In fact, I left there. I was laughing so much because I had turned the interview around on his head. I didn't know what they were saying, so I turned it around. And then
What are the
sometimes you can even throw in a joke, and then they start to say, "Oh, you can even throw in a joke that, oh, you love that I love. I've got a tie like the one you've got. Oh, sorry to digress. I've got a tie like the one you've got on. Absolutely beautiful." Then the person said, "Oh, really? Oh, thank you. My wife got a tie for me during my birthday." "Oh, okay. I think maybe that was." I said, "My wife and your wife, they must be the same. They must be from the same family because my wife was the one who got me the same tie too." You've already, so you're already feeling at ease. You've made that person feel at ease too. So sometimes you can turn interview around. Okay, but whilst we're talking, I was looking at the next one, which is trust. I don't know. Do we still have time?
We have
Can we-
time. We have
Okay.
time. Yeah.
Okay. So the next one is
Trust.
trust. What are you doing when you deliver work that you are most proud of? Can you think of a time when you delivered something that was recognized for its high quality? So here you can just say, when I deliver work that I'm most proud of, I focus on 3 key elements. And the elements are making sure I understand what the business needs, maintaining a structured and collaborative approach, and ensuring that I always pay attention to detail to achieve high quality results.
Or you can say
I will make sure,
result-oriented. Okay.
yes, I always make sure my work is aligned with the organizational goals, engaging stakeholders effectively, and also leveraging my expertise in data governance. One example that stands out for me was during my role at Legal and General Investment. It could also be at one of your other roles, where I led the migration of 20,000 clients onto a new fund allocation site.
As
It
I
was
said
a
earlier.
high risk, high visibility project that required planning, collaboration with
Policy
various
policy
stakeholders,
development.
yes, and a deep understanding of the data involved. There was a lot of integrity checks. There were a lot of user testing and stakeholder communication. One of the ways in which I did the user testing was to carry out surveys within the company, what they thought, and I did this by organizing workshops and just sending out questionnaires to everyone within the organization, and making sure it was carried out to the highest standard. The outcome was not only seamless migration, but also an enhanced user experience that increased our sales by 15%. And based on that, because of that, my salary got increased. So I was on an X amount of salary, but because of this particular initiative, my salary got increased by 10% within 3 months of joining the company. Thank you.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Good. So the rest you can also easily answer. The respect is very important, and you can also talk about inclusivities and being kind in a team settings. How will you do that? Yes, everybody that works with you, they come with different level of experience, and irrespective of who they are, we have to, respect their perspective in terms of adding value to the district. However, anyone who doesn't have the human capacity to meet up with our program, we organize training for them, include them into the training to enter the mainstream implementation of the program. So simple. It's just so simple. First of all, what that means, you're respecting people's capacity. Because you that is being employed, you're coming out because first of all, okay, if we employ you now, what are you bringing to the table? So, well, as a matter of fact, I will come with human capacity. I will be adding value to what you have in terms of your experience. Though I'm still subject to adapt, I'm still learning in terms of experience and knowledge. And also because of the ethics, responsibility you have, the value, the belief you have, where the belief you have, I have gone through your website and I discovered that this question you ask is one of the values. So which I prioritize by having inclusivity. So those values are prioritizing. Matter close. That is where respect comes. some of these things, they are just the question, the answer to the question, they are inside the question. You just see what if he said now. Play around the thing. When you are making them to laugh, you're thinking of what to say. So is that okay? This is the first one, because if we go to technical aspect of those questions are going to come, we're going to go deal with that. So maybe probably we just have to go on because of time constraint. If what do you think? I need to move. We need to move on.
Yes. Yeah, you're right in what you're saying.
Yeah.
And of course, it's talking about inclusion here. Demonstrate respect and inclusion towards others. Of course, in every environment, you know that you're going to have people from all sorts of backgrounds. You're going to have both the black, the white, people from various ethnic backgrounds. So it's very important that when you are, of course, you can't.
You can even bring an example
Sorry?
of the other time somebody who has incapability that is like
You have
disabled. You just call
disability. Yes.
Yes.
So making sure that you include them irrespective of their background or whether they are disabled or not, making sure you include them, making sure you respect others' opinion.
That's one of those values you prioritize, and I love that.
And yes, and in every and then when you're having a team meeting, there's no idea that is slammed down. Everybody's idea is always welcome. That goes to show that you work professionally, and you believe that with every idea, you can pick up ideas from people. So there's nobody that is too small, no one that is unimportant. So making sure you take a proactive approach by making sure everyone is collaboratively involved in whatever they're doing. And that way you'll get to achieve whatever you need to achieve. So respect in every area. You go into Tesco, you have to respect the checkout person. You have to respect the security guy. So in other words, you're respecting all the key stakeholders within the organization. It's just basically teamwork. How well can you work with everyone? How well do you work with people in a team? How well do you work with blacks? How well do you work with whites? How well do you work with Asians? How well do you respect their culture? Like the Muslims, we know that the Muslims at a certain time on Friday at 1 p.m., they go to the mosque to go and pray or something like that. You're not going to be arranging a meeting for that Friday, 1 p.m.
I think one example is okay. She just secretary with so many examples. When you're speaking, just I think one is okay. Just bring one, and then out of the one that she's secretary, I know if very well. She's gonna give more examples, but we don't even know who is interviewing who. If you're interviewing,
and then sometimes you have new people who are joining the organization, and sometimes they're a bit reluctant to speak because they don't know whether whatever they're saying might be rubbish. So you encourage them by telling them that yes, speak up. No idea is totally wrong. Just respecting others. That's what it is.
Yes.
Okay.
At least even if you go for the interview, if you remember my voice or if you remember Pastor's voice, maybe when they're asking you a question, just remember what we're saying, and that might just ring in your memory or ring in your brain and say something.
That is why what you're seeing on the chat box is very important. You just copy them, and then I will give you a opportunity to copy everything when the time comes. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, so I'm gonna move on. Thank you, Efe, for that. I'm gonna move on. See, though we concentrated on the first interview dealing with BBC, okay? Make sure day of the interview tips, you have to be more authentic, respond naturally and honestly to showcase who you really are, okay? One of the things you must think about is to listen carefully what you are being asked. If you don't understand it, you can tell them to repeat it. So interviewer will guide you through each question, ensuring clarity. So you need to create room for such. You also need to stay relaxed. So, the setting aims to put you at ease so you can perform at your best. You feel relaxed, okay? And you also need to, most importantly, you have to align, use the BBC values as a framework to structure your response. As it is, what I have shown, you have right there, right now on the chat box. Okay, now they talk about, they won't go, I don't think they will actually go for roles and response. They will explain to you anyway. But then let's assume you are asked a question concerning roles and responsibility. JD, you say, like, how do you support data governance lead effectively to effectively drive the successful implementation of data governance initiatives across BBC? That's one of the questions that is coming to you, So I don't know whether it's going to come for the first one, I'm not sure. But if you proceed to the next one, they're going to ask you that question. Trust me, because that's one on the team. Okay?
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
So what you need to do, you need to give example. Just give 2 examples if you can. If you don't, then it will be a little bit difficult. One of the examples you can give, say, well, thank you for asking me that question. This is what I always do. I will be collaborating with data governance lead to implement BBC-wide data stewardship program by ensuring that each department had assigned data stewards responsible, for maintaining data quality. Simple, very simple. Or you can also, you can decide to be, you will be supporting the rollout of GDPR compliance initiatives, which I have always done in my job, including training sections and governance frameworks for handling personal data. Okay, you like the answer?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that you like the answer. Do you want it?
Yes.
It's already there now. So they put it there for you. Okay? But while doing that, have you ever, what are you expecting to be a challenge where if you're going to carry out such initiative? Okay, they must ask you challenge, prepare yourself for challenges. This is why this job is not excluding challenges anyway, as I always be. So first of all, I'll be expecting that there will be resistance to new governance processes for stakeholders.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, then what will you do to mitigate against it? You just say, well, you will continue to conduct workshops to educate stakeholders on the importance of data governance and the long-term benefits of compliance.
Yes.
Simple. Then, or I can also see another challenge I may call, which is this is just the common one, is a lack of consistent data handling practice across departments or functional departments. So what can you do? You develop a standardized checklist for data stewardship rules and ensuring consistent practice. For example, if date of birth is DD/MM/YYYY, if human resources is doing that, accounting department must also follow the same. That's standardization.
Yes.
If we are keeping video data, it must be MP format. You don't put a audio data in an MP format database.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if we are writing name like John Smith is a feder.
Yes, go on. Sorry.
So
Sorry. Yeah.
can you talk about a format of John Smith if it is possible?
Sorry, I didn't. Sorry, I was
Standardization.
going through my email. Sorry.
Standardization. So,
Right.
yeah. So if you have a name, it has to be like surname or first name first, the surname later. So if human resources having the surname, the first name first, surname later, accounting should have the same, not surname first and then first name later, across the department. So
yes, the metadata should be the same across all boards. So if it's surname first, it should be surname, name, date of birth. The date of birth, the format should always be, if it's the second in written form, or if it's the second in numeric form, it needs to be clearly stated. So it could be, date of birth could be 17/12/2024, or it could be 17th December, that's December spelled out 2024. So the format was always be standardized across all boards. So the metadata must always be the same across all boards. You cannot have date of birth as some people will put it down as 17/12/2024, and then the other is putting down as 17th December written in alphabets 2024. It must always be the same. Then the address too, if it's postcode first, it must be the same across all boards. After postcode, then the street number or whatever, or if it's the door number first, and then the street, and then the postcode last. So the metadata must always have the same format across all boards. So that's one of the initiatives too that you could have implemented when you first joined, because they didn't have one standardized method. Everyone had all sorts of things. So putting it onto the system was creating a lot of errors. So that was one of the first initiatives that you undertook, making sure you cleansed out the database.
It was unstructured.
No, it wasn't.
So whatever you're receiving, if you can keep it in your mind within tomorrow, you'll be a champion.
When is the interview?
Tomorrow.
It was meant to be Friday, and they called me today asking to change it for tomorrow.
Why did you agree?
Because they said, I know.
What time tomorrow?
12:30.
12:30.
Yes.
Okay. I think the first part is just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, and I think it's going to consult BBC.
You will ace that part. Not to worry. You will ace that part.
But if you can follow what has been said today, it will be easy for you to move. But if it comes to the technical side, we're going to finish that with you.
Okay.
Okay. But the only thing is
that introductory part that I did was tell us about yourself. Just listen to that part over and over again. Maybe listen to it and that 2 or 3 times, and then so that you just have that in back of your head to say that, or have that in your mind to say, okay, when they say tell me about myself, this is what I'm going to say. You can talk about your strengths. You can talk about your mostly strength and how you have picked up expertise along the way with your various jobs. So if you listen to that first part, I think you'll be okay.
Okay.
Don't worry. You'll be okay.
I've got another interview on Friday, which is with an American company. NY2 is a educational platform. They've got over 1 billion over 1 billion subscribers to the platform. That's the one I'm most interested about because it's a 100% remote role.
Okay.
And they do pay quite well as well in America.
Okay.
But it is for the data quality analyst.
Okay.
So that's on Friday, and then I've got another one for SSE.
Oh yeah, a very busy man.
Yes, I've just, I just decided to throw myself for it, and then all of us, I wasn't expecting no interviews to come my way.
Okay.
Because I have not had the training, as I said to Pastor. And when I found Pastor online on YouTube, I called him
Yeah.
straight away. I said, "Look, Pastor, I need training." But
Okay.
yeah. All right,
Okay.
thank you.
So the one for Friday, have you sent that job description to Pastor?
No, I have not sent to Pastor.
Okay. Okay. If you can send that through, and we can have a look at that too. And I think with what we have done today, based on based on you being able to speak using the I. Don't forget, you're going to be using I, not we. It's mostly I. What they want to see is what you have done, and then engaging with people. I think you'll be able to go through the interview.
Okay.
So I don't think it's anything to worry about. So do the first one. And like I always say, if you have several interviews lined up, you make a mistake on the first one, the second one you correct yourself. By the third one, you're good to go. Some people will do 10 interviews and just they would be taking on one. Some people will do 10 interviews and they'll be taking on all 10. Not because they're very good, not because they know it all, but because they were able to engage in that interview. So engagement is very important. Engaging is very important. That's what I say.
Okay.
All the best.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
the best in all the interviews.
Yeah. I'm going to give you another initiative, okay? Which, if you can, at least, there are more than three initiatives we kind of given to you right now, apart from the Euro. This one is tell me about yourself and whatever. You've been in this journey for the past 1 decade or 5 years or whatever. Talk about yourself. One of the things you carry out, you develop monitoring and measuring capabilities to track the effectiveness of data governance initiatives. How effective will those initiatives become? So what did you do? What did you do? You designed a dashboard to monitor data quality metrics. What metrics? Such as competency, completeness, okay, accuracy, and timeliness. So what did you implement? You implemented key performance indicators of KPI to measure, the success of data governance initiatives. Okay, so, and that is one thing you can do.
DQ dimensions, rules, and
Yeah, okay. What are the challenges you face during that time? What are the challenges you face? You can easily talk about difficulty in obtaining real-time data for monitoring. And what was the solution towards it? You integrated monitoring tools with existing systems to automate data collection. So what are other challenges? Stakeholders are unsure how to interpret metrics. So what you did is to provide training sections to stakeholders on dashboard usage and metrics interpretation. This is so cool. You must reach a level to be able to do this. All right. Sometimes when these people interview, they don't know much. So what is the result? Okay, what do you think the result? What does it result to? Because they want to see example of what you have done. They want to see the challenges and how you mitigate there and get the challenges, and then what was the aftermath after mitigation. So what you can do is it enables real-time tracking of data quality, reducing issue resolution time by 50%. Okay, you can also you ensure reporting accuracy. I know you improve reporting accuracy, leading to more informed strategic decision making. Okay, and those are the results. You can also say because of that you were recommended for promotion. Just get one. Get one. And then the BBC value your day-to-day, all the things we said about what you like and why do you like it, what you don't like and why didn't you like it. Why will people refer you to? How must they rely on you? Speak boldly. Sometimes you can even make people laugh, and why you all these things you remember what has been said. Use your talk professional. Do you understand? Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you learned something today?
No, I have definitely learned quite a bit.
To be quite honest, we have not reached 1%.
Oh God.
No, you were only dealing with just say the beginning of what you. When we're going to talk about the technical aspect of it, that's what we're going to say. But you will enjoy data governance if you know.
Plus, I need a training.
Because you only saw one tutor, apart from me trainer. You only saw one tutor. When you're gonna see other, because we have baristas, we have lawyers, we have engineers coming here, really big time medical doctors, and they are all coming for the training. And when they come, they when we say we finish, they don't want to go. So because there are other cohorts that need to be trained. Okay, waiting. So we work with time. So there are so many reward applications. Our training is not just a training that when people pay money in a company 5 to 10K, this and that. No, that's not what we train. We train people to make sure they have experience like they'll be working for five years. And they talk professionally. If I train you don't know how to talk professionally, I would say you're just wasting your time here.
No,
So,
I do realize that. I do need to talk professionally. Do I have the confidence? I do, but I just need to be equipped correctly. Once I'm equipped correctly, I can go. It's the
Wrong answer. Wrong answer. Yes, I do have the confidence.
Yes, I do have the confidence. Yes.
Those things that you have right now there will give you confidence. So what